Hi to everyone. In this video, I am just going to discuss about multiple stacks. Actually, when you are looking into the topic itself, easily you can understand that we are going to discuss about more number of stacks. But what we are going to do it here means we are just going to see as how to store the content of many stacks in a single array itself. Okay, so how we are going to implement it here means at first we can take the two stack. For example, you may take the content of stack 1 as A, B, C, and the content of stack 2 as E, F, G. So what I'm just going to do it here means I'm just going to store the content of these two stacks in a single array itself. Already we have seen in the previous video itself as we can represent the stack by using an array. So in a same way, we are just going to store the elements of these two stacks in a single array. So what I am just going to do it here means I am just going to define one array as V, and the lower bound of the array V as 1 and the upper bound of the array V as M. In between we are having so many number of cells will be there, no? It ranges from 1 to M. So we may define the length of V is M and the bound ranges from 1 to M. Okay. So what I am just going to do it here means I am just going to take M is equal to 7. So in such a case, how I am going to store the content of these stack size? I am just going to take the first stack and these elements which I am going to store it from the lower bound, and this stack will go towards right end. For example, at first I will store A here, and next I will store B, then C. Even if I wish to store one more element means that element D which will get loaded here. It means I am just going to store the content of the first stack from the lower bound, and it will go towards the upper bound. And when I am taking the stack 2, I will store these elements from the upper bound, and it will grow towards the left end. For example, at first I will store E here, then F and G. Even if I am going to store one more element in stack 2 means I will load it here. So what it means whenever if you are going to store the content of two stacks means one stack elements which will get loaded from left end, and we are just going to push the elements so that the stack will go towards the upper bound. And when we are taking the stack 2, the content of the stack 2, that means the elements of the stack 2 which will get loaded from the upper end to the lower end. It means we are letting the stack 2 to grow towards the lower bound. So whenever if you are going to make use of the two stacks means by that time we should consider whether the data has been overlapped or not, because one stack is going from left to right and another stack is going storing from upper bound towards lower bound. right? So what's happening here is there may be a chances of overlapping. So whenever if you are going to store the data, we should consider we should consider the condition as whether the cell is empty or not. If it is empty, we can store the data, else we are not supposed to store the data. We can print the messages stack is full. Okay. So this is the methodology in which we can store the content of the two stacks in a single array itself. Okay. This is one thing. In next video, we will discuss about as how to store the more number of stacks in a single array itself. I hope that you have understand these concepts clearly. I will see you back in the next video. Thank you.